Namaste everyone. So today I want to invite you to my upcoming course, Journey with the Moon, dedicated to Tithis, or Lunar Phases in Vedic Astrology. So this course is going to start already this Sunday, and the very first session will be free and open for everyone. So please feel most welcome to join us. You can also watch the recording later. The only thing you need to do is to sign up, leave your email address on the link below. So you have everything under this video. But in today's video, I actually wanted, to bring to your attention what is tithi in Vedic astrology and actually why it's so important. So before I even bring it to your attention, before I tell you more about tithis, let me tell you that lunar phases or tithis in Vedic astrology were actually the very first thing that attracted me in the first place to the study of Jyotisha, the study of the science of astrology. And you can only imagine my disappointment when I started to study Vedic astrology more and more, and I realized how little information is available on the tithis, on lunar phases. So I started myself, to dig more and more into the scriptures to try to understand lunar phases more, because it felt to me, so natural that moon, which is literally the planet or the heavenly object, which is the closest to our planet, must have the biggest impact on us. We see the impact of lunar phases even in nature all around us. During full moon, we can see how the water levels are rising in the seas. During new moon, we can feel and observe how our mood gets down. And guess what? It's not just your mood that can get down during the new moon time, but even the water level in your own physical body actually gets down physically. It has been proven scientifically. That's why, sadly enough, during new moon times, it is proven that there's the biggest amount of suicides, while during full moon times, there's the biggest amount of accidents. Coincidence? Cannot be. And this is why, lunar phases attracted me so much, because I realized that if they impact our mind so much, because remember, moon represents the mind in Vedic astrology. Of course, the specific lunar phase, the specific ratio between sun and moon that is there in your birth chart, it must say something very profound about your nature, especially about your emotional nature. So this is what attracted me to study of the tithis, lunar phases. And let me share you in this video a couple of things that I found out. So astronomically speaking, what is tithi? Tithi is this 12-degree separation between sun and moon on the sky. Literally, it's actually the angle between sun and moon, which are literally the most important grahas in your birth chart. Because keep in mind, sun represents your soul, the particle of the divine within you, the particle of the absolute within you, while moon represents your mind. That's why moon, you see, even though it's called prakasha or luminous graha, but it actually doesn't have any light on its own physically. It just reflects the light of the sun. And you will see that during different lunar phases, sometimes moon will reflect a little bit more light, sometimes a little bit less light. And that is telling you something about you as well. But it's not only about the amount of light that moon is reflecting during different lunar phases. But it's also about whether the moon is waxing, so whether the light is increasing, or whether it's waning, whether it's decreasing. And it even goes beyond that. You see, some lunar phases, especially from perspective of muhurta, are very, very special and extremely auspicious. And very frequently, these lunar phases are forming some very specific angle on the sky. There's some very specific ratio in between sun and moon, which is mathematically special. For example, on Shukla Ekadashi and Krishna Chaturthi, you can see that sun and moon form exactly golden angle on the sky. And interestingly enough, these two tithis are considered to be best for fasting and spiritual practices. Coincidence? for sure not. And then when I started to dig deeper and deeper into that, I realized that there is much more to that. Much more to this relationship between sun and moon. Since sun represents Shiva, the divine masculine, moon represents Shakti, the divine feminine. And their relationship, their very unique relationship on the sky in the moment of your birth, says something very special about the path of your soul in this lifetime. Moon is also the representative of your mind and your emotional self in your birth chart. And therefore, believe me, lunar phase says something very, very intimate about you. Actually, I remember one astrologer once said that once you know a birth tithi of the person, you already know way too much about the person. It is very true. You see, once you study tithis really in depth, once you understand every single lunar phase and its very unique quality, because you see, every tithi has different element, different guna, different goddess that is presiding it, different quality, and even different, taste in a sense. You start to realize that everybody has this different type of pattern manifesting through the person. And therefore, tithi really tells you a lot about your emotional self. And it's not just the moon, since every tithi is also having its planetary lord. And the moment any graha in your birth chart becomes your tithi lord, the planet presiding over your birth tithi, this graha is not anymore just a planet. This graha actually tells you a lot about how you emotionally respond to the world. And now if this graha is in a very good state and in a very supportive placement from perspective of emotions, then of course, you are going to meet all the situations in your life and receive them, with acceptance, with openness, with love and kindness. Because this is what tithi is showing you, how you accept and receive everything in your life. Since moon is always showing how we receive things, how we emotionally respond to them. But if this tithi lord is afflicted in your birth chart, then you may feel, that no matter how hard you try, it's very hard for you, to receive certain things in life. This is where certain reactions, like even aggression or fear or just closeness may appear. And sometimes no matter how hard you try, it's extremely hard to overcome that. So by studying the tithi, we try to see, is there any type of such an emotional blockage? And we try to also rectify it by allowing you to understand why it happens, what does it teach you, and what you can improve. You see, just because you are born on a very specific lunar phase, it actually impacts so many factors in your birth chart that you possibly can't even imagine that. Just because you're born on one specific lunar phase, one planet in your birth chart will become your tithi lord. There will be also a very special rashi, a very special zodiac sign, which will become your tithi rashi, and it will become the storage of your emotional self. Also, because you're born on certain lunar phases, some rashis, some signs and houses can become afflicted. They can actually have something called shunya dosha, or they can become fruitless. And even some nakshatras can be afflicted by that. And these are things which are, operating on a very subtle level, but sometimes if you don't know these things, you may actually misread the chart. And you may not be able to see accurately what's exactly happening within a person. So tithi, or lunar phase on which you are born, has actually the power to override many factors in your birth chart. And why is that so? You see, in tantric tradition, it is believed that moon itself is a manifestation of highest goddess, Parashakti, Lalita Tripura Sundari. And lunar phases are said to be presided by her 15 direct expansions called Nitya Devis. Nitya Devis literally means goddesses of eternity or guardians of eternity. They're sometimes called also Kala Shaktis, or the powers of time itself. It is believed that when the highest goddess created this entire universe, she created it through them, through these 15 basic powers of time itself. This is why tithi is a very big thing. And during our course, we will be also studying these goddesses and their symbolism in very, very great detail. We will be learning their mantras. We will be learning about their yantras as well, which happen to be one of the greatest remedies for afflicted tithi or lunar phase. So these goddesses and connecting with them and meditating with them will actually allow you to form much deeper connection with the moon, much deeper connection, with the present moment actually. Because once you realize, that these goddesses are here only to teach you something, you will be also, meeting all the experiences in your life from a little bit different angle. When you will be knowing, for example, that today is the tithi ruled by more fierce goddess, who is more purifying and intense in nature, you will learn how to meet this energy, greet it, with understanding and acceptance, and how to learn from it as well. This is why you see, for me personally, studying of the lunar phases was extremely spiritually enriching experience, since for me, you see, the primary focus on my life is not really astrology, but it's the spiritual path. And I realized that when I observe the lunar phases more, when I'm aware of them, when I'm aware of those goddesses and what they are trying to teach me, then I'm also able to be more sincere with myself, see where I'm making a mistake, and therefore to do more sincere introspection as well. And this was a very transformative and healing experience. So I'm inviting you to this course today, but I'm inviting you to this course not so just you can learn about lunar phases or tithis from perspective of Vedic astrology. Of course, we will do that part too. We'll be doing study cases, you'll be having homeworks. So of course, we will be learning about tithis and how to interpret them. But we'll be also learning how to utilize this divine knowledge in your everyday life, so you can actually progress on your spiritual path as well. So that's all from me for today. And thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully see you very soon on Sunday on our very first introduction session on the upcoming course, Journey with the Moon. Once again, you have the join link below. And if you didn't read my book yet, Journey with the Moon, and would like to read it, which is like 360 pages dedicated just to tithis or lunar phases in Vedic astrology, you can also purchase it, and you also will find the link below. So thank you once again for watching, and see you next time. Namaste.